When the summer began, for a lot of baseball fans, they wondered what route the Phillies season would take. They also never had any idea that a Little League team from here in Philadelphia would take hold of the city and take it by storm. Tonight, prior to Game 3 between the Phils and the Nationals, the Taney Little Leaguers were honored in a tremendous ceremony. Now we're set for a little baseball. Now, it started earlier today down in Philadelphia through Broad Street. The parade that Mayor Michael Nutter implemented last week after they went to the Little League World Series. Thanks, Team Taney, and a lot of folks around the city of Philadelphia and throughout the Delaware Valley. Well, they were soaking in every moment and every inning and every game the kids played up in Williamsport. Well, tonight, those same kids got a chance to soak in all of the adulation and appreciation from the folks from their own Little League to the folks that play for the big club, like Chase Utley. You can see the smiles. You can also see a little of the exhaustion on the kids' faces after a long day, but they certainly got a chance to absorb all of the memories that we got a chance to absorb from a distance. They, again, got a chance to see it for themselves. And then the victory lap, and they took it literally. A victory lap, the fastest you'll ever see here at Citizens Bank Park. And the crowd here certainly got a chance to enjoy it. They were also presented with their own Phillies jersey with their Mid-Atlantic region number and name on the back of their jersey, and they all figured out which favorite Philly they would throw the first pitch to. What a tremendous summer for the kids from Taney Little League, and it was nice to see, Matt, the Phillies fans getting a chance to embrace that here tonight. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Matt Stairs. Greg Murphy, who did a great job with the coverage tonight on Comcast Sportsnet, will join us in just a little bit. Now we get set for baseball, and the Phillies fans know that it's been a 3-game winning streak. Last night, pretty impressive win for the Phils to round out Game 2.
Well, and it really was. Up 3-0, all of a sudden, the Nats battled back to tie the game. But all of a sudden, in the 8th inning, you know, the thing that happened is everything's going right now. You know, Ben Revere gets to first base on an Ian Desmond error, which was overturned, saying that he actually came off the base right here. Franson thought he stayed on the base.
Yeah.
They reviewed it, showed that he was off the base, and it just set up for a good inning all of a sudden. You see Seastrom right here gives the old safe sign for the second time in the game. Ben Revere steals his 39th base very easily. You know, then all of a sudden now you want Jimmy Rollins to get him over to third, excuse me. He does with a fly ball to right field. Then Chooch comes up in a key situation, wants to hit the ball in the middle of the field, gets a hanging curveball, drives it to right center. There's your game-winning RBI.
Game-winning RBI brings home Ben Revere, and it also sets up the bullpen to kind of finish off this ball game for the Phillies. And the bullpen, all part of this homestand that's been so successful for the Phils.
Well, they've played so well in this homestand, you know, going 6-2. And the thing is with the bullpen, with a 1.23 ERA, they're coming in, throwing strikes in key situations, not trying to do too much, but just relying on what they have and not trying to overdo too much. And they've been up there, and Giles came in last night, threw 99 miles an hour, struck out 3 guys, and you can see how the energy was from last night.
All right, well, the Phillies hope that same energy from the ceremonies from last night's game will carry over to tonight's ball game. It'll be Doug Fister on the mound for the Nationals. Kyle Kendrick makes the start for the Phils. We'll have lineups at first pitch when we return. Bank Park. It's the final game of this 3-game series. It's also the last game of this homestand for the Phillies. The Phillies 6-2 on the homestand. As Denard Span will lead it off, we are ready to go. As Kyle Kendrick has the baseball, he's finished his warm-up tosses, and the first pitch of the night is in there for a strike. So we're underway. Span 0 for 8 with a couple strikeouts in this series. Overall hitting .297 on the year, with a home run and 27 runs batted in. And a line drive back toward the middle, a base hit for Denard Span. So he's aboard. That's his first hit of the series. And the rest of the Nationals lineup brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Denard Span, of course, leading it off in center. Then Anthony Rendon, Jason Worth, and Adam LaRoche. Ian Desmond bats 5th for the Nationals. Bryce Harper 6th. And the bottom third of Ramos Cabrera and Doug Fister. Kyle Kendrick, 27th start. His numbers overall hide the fact that he's really struggled in the first inning of games. He's allowed 31 first inning runs this year, 28 earned runs. And Rendon is the batter. And he takes a strike to the knees. It's 0-1.
It kind of seems like after that first inning, he settles down and gets all of his pitches going in. As you can see, the Budweiser scouting report, 88 to 91 mile an hour fastball, change-up curve, 5-10 with a 4.99 ERA versus the Nats in his career.
Yeah, 0-2 so far this season against Washington. Rendon 4 for 12 lifetime against Kyle Kendrick. And a line drive down the left field line. That's a fair ball going down to the corner. Span runs well. He's already at third. Dominic Brown's throw cut off by Rollins, and the throw to the plate not in time. So the Nationals strike first. They get an RBI double from Rendon. So 1-0 Washington here in the first. And Rendon with his 70th RBI of the year.
He just gets the fastball up in the zone. Nice short swing, quick to the ball, keeps it fair down the left field line. And Kendrick ends up getting 32nd first inning RBI.
Matt, it's a remarkable stat. It's a remarkable issue for Kyle Kendrick. He says that it's not in his head at all. It's one of those things. It'll be gone by next year. I would have to think it's in his head. It has to be.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're getting up 32 runs in the first inning, you have to think about it. You have to think maybe I'm not warming up right. Pitch selection, I'm not sure what it is, but hopefully next year it's gone out of his head. Maybe you would think.
You would think. Well, he started out the first 3 hitters with strikes as he works ahead of Jason Worth. Worth hitting .287 with 13 home runs and 70 runs batted in. Inside, 1-1. Did Worth take batting practice on the field today?
No, he didn't. He said he was going to never take batting practice on the field again because he hits home runs in batting practice. He could think he can hit them farther in the game, and he overswings, and he said he's done.
How long do you think that'll last?
Probably Friday.
1 ball, 1 strike to Worth. Inside again. Worth is 1 for 6 of the series with a couple of walks. Well, there you see what we were talking about. 32 first inning runs in 27 starts. So he is zeroing in on Mark Burley's record for most first inning runs, a record that truly nobody wants to have. And now time is called. Last outing, Kyle allowed 3 runs in the first inning, but the Phillies offense was able to come back and defeat Adam Wainwright of the Cardinals. In fact, that day they were down 3-0 and 4-1, and they were able to come back. Kendrick allowed the 4 runs, but nothing else. They won the game 5-4. Broken back, ground ball, foul. It's 3-2. So Worth will get a new bat.
Well, I guess you could say that the offense is kind of used to battling back when Kendrick's on the mound. You know, at times you might change your approach, and that's the biggest thing is that, you know, with Doug Fister, the guy who throws strikes, you might want to be aggressive early in the game. But now, you know, 1 run so far, hopefully they keep it at 1. It can change your approach a little bit as a hitter because you want to try to get runners on by walks and be patient and not have a quick inning.
Yeah, Fister is sort of the opposite of Kendrick, particularly first inning wise, but just in general. His pace is quick. Another foul ball. It remains 3-2. During the 2014 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. How about tonight? Modell's donated $34,000 to the Taney Little League. In the dirt ball 4, Worth draws a walk. All right, Matt. Time now for our Nissan keys to tonight's ball game. You have anything in there about the first inning?
No, I stayed away from that today. The first thing I want to do is for the Phillies to keep doing what they're doing to win games. That's getting guys over, get them in, playing small baseball. The second one is facing Fister. You have to see the ball, then react. He's a big, tall guy who has a quick delivery, but he tops out at 90 miles an hour. So you got to slow your body down, see the ball, and then react to it.
Well, here's Adam LaRoche, who did not start last night's ball game because of a stiff back. He did come on and pinch hit in the 9th inning and flied out to end the game. Up high with a changeup, and it's 1-0.
Sometimes I wonder if I would have listened to myself with these keys when I played, I might have played a couple extra years.
Well, in Oakland that year, you listened to yourself.
A few times.
Yeah. Ball and 1 strike. Home plate umpire was scheduled to be Gary Cedarstrom tonight, but they have adjusted the umpiring crews. This is a totally, well, not a totally different umpiring crew, but there are 2 additions from last night. Dan Iasonia is behind the plate. Fielding Colbreth is over at first base. Jim Reynolds is at second. He's been here for the last 2 days. Manny Gonzalez is around at third. 1 ball, 2 strikes to LaRoche. Ground ball foul. All right, now the last start, Kendrick pushed aside his sinker and went changeup curveball most of the outing after the first inning against the Cardinals. Can he do the same thing against these Nationals, Matt, or is it still trying to work ahead of guys to get the other pitches to work?
No, I think he's going to have to start mixing in. Although his changeup's up in the zone right now, you know, maybe try to get a feel of that fastball right now, but you know, last game he threw 41% fastballs, and then all of a sudden he got away from it and started throwing more off-speed pitches.
Just missed outside with a cutter, and it's 2-2.
You know, his last outing he threw 26% changeups, which is pretty high for him. It's usually right around 19%. So, I really, it's the touchy feeling. Whatever he feels comfortable with, that's coming out of his hand easily. He'll stay with that. I still like to see that front door sinker once in a while.
Nobody out. The count 3-2 to LaRoche. Nieves out to chat with Kendrick. Desmond waits on deck. This is a dangerous Nationals lineup, particularly when they're ahead in the count. That one's hit sharply to second. Should be two. There's one, and Rollins able to adjust. Gets the double play. Fortunately for the Phillies, they had plenty of time. And Rollins, after handling that flip, it's all about timing around second base. After handling that flip, he was able to adjust his feet and his body.
Yeah, and I think if you ask Chase after the game, he's probably going to say he was a little too far away from doing that back flip. But like you said, Adam Roach hit the ball extremely hard and had a lot of time to roll the double play.
The other thing, too, is that Worth came in sliding, but Jimmy was able to back off enough where the slide didn't really affect him. Here's Ian Desmond with a runner at third. And Desmond rips one through the hole on the left side, and it'll drive in another run. So it's 2-0 Washington. An RBI single for Desmond, his 80th of the year. So 2-0 Washington. And that'll bring Bryce Harper to the plate.
I'd really like to see Kyle Kendrick throw that curveball a little harder, get more depth, and learn how to bounce it behind home plate. Because that last one he just threw was a floater. You know, it's up in the zone, and he's fortunate that Desmond was out in front of it a little bit and just got a base hit instead of hitting one over the Geico sign in left field.
That one gets away from Nieves, and Desmond will be able to go up to second. That is the 5th wild pitch of the season for Kendrick. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Harper. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Pirates held on and defeated the Cardinals 3-1. Ike Davis hit a 2-run home run. It was a cutter, he said after the game, from Adam Wainwright. The Cardinals were happy with the way Wainwright pitched today compared to other outings, but they couldn't score any runs. Pittsburgh's now won 5 of 7. Chopper right side. Utley charges. And Harper's not really running, so it was an easy play. And the side is retired. However, the Nationals do score 2. They collect 3 hits along the way. They lead 1. Middle of the first, Washington 2, and the Phillies coming up. Bank Park, where the Nationals have jumped out to a 2-0 lead over the Phils. We go to the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. It'll be Revere, Rollins, and Utley, followed by Ryan Howard, Marlon Byrd, and Dominic Brown. And then Will Nieves doing the catching tonight. Cody Ashe at third, batting 8th, and batting 9th is Kyle Kendrick. They will face right-hander Doug Fister, the 30-year-old who is 12-4. You know, there's some people that think he's been the Nationals' best pitcher here in 2014. And he's probably been, since he came back off the disabled list, the most consistent pitcher.
Well, he has, and he's only walked 15 guys all year. He's a strike thrower. He works very quick. You can see the Budweiser scouting report, 86 to 90 mile an hour fastball, curveball, slider, change. He's had a very good month of August, although his last outing versus the Giants, he was up in the zone with almost every pitch.
Yeah, he had just had surgery to remove a piece of skin cancer. He said that's not an excuse. That's not why he struggled in that outing. He said he was just up a little bit in the zone. Quickly 0-2 to Revere. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Revere hitting .311 on the season. And he fights that one off. He's second to Justin Morneau. Morneau's had a good week for the Rockies. In fact, Morneau, like Revere's, had a good month of August. Morneau's hit .338 in the month of August. Revere .327. Ben, though, has 11 more hits than Justin Morneau in the month of August. Ben has 34. Morneau has 23. Now, Morneau has walked a couple more times.
A couple more?
But he's also missed some time.
Yes.
He's been battling some injuries. Inside, 2-2.
Morneau actually broke up a perfect game last night by Bumgarner in the 8th inning.
I watched some of that ball game. Bumgarner was, he was right on the line. Everything was right where he wanted it to go. It's a shortstop. Not the same play as last night. It's similar, but this time Desmond makes the throw. And there's one out. And that'll bring Jimmy Rollins to the plate. Desmond, in talking about that play last night, said it wasn't hit that hard. I had a hurry with a fast runner, and it just got away. Now, I don't know if everybody from the Nationals was in agreement that Kevin Franzen was off the bag, clearly off the bag. I know Kevin wasn't totally in agreement. Rollins lifts one to right, towering shot. Worth back toward the scoreboard. It is gone! 17th home run of the year for Jimmy Rollins. That ball carried. And the Phillies are on the board. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Well, carried because it was a cutter up in the zone a little bit. You see how Jimmy tucks his hands in a little bit. And, yeah, from my perspective, we thought Jason was going to have a chance to jump and catch that ball, but he didn't. So it was a home run by Jimmy Rollins.
So 17 home runs for Rollins on the year. His power numbers are up this season. Here's Chase Utley, and he takes a strike. That home run by Jimmy Rollins has won Laura Lehigh of Wilmington, Delaware, $100. She was our contestant. We didn't get a chance to tell you in our McDonald's home run jackpot. So congratulations to Laura. $100 richer tonight thanks to Jimmy Rollins and the McDonald's home run jackpot. So now Utley's up. Utley 0 for his last 7. Did not play last night. And he lines one out toward left center. That's going to drop off the end of the bat. So he's aboard. Ryan Howard is the batter. Well, Murphy's throwing strikes, which is what we anticipated.
Yeah, 12 pitches so far for Doug Fister, 4 balls, 8 strikes, and that pretty much is his ball game. And when you know a guy is throwing strikes, I imagine, Matt, you can be aggressive about that. Take a look at the Mazda leaders, and you'll see where he fits in when percentage of strikes thrown in the National League. Clayton Kershaw right there on top, 69.6% of the pitches that he throws are strikes, followed by Jordan Zimmerman, Cologne, McCarthy, and there he is, Doug Fister, at 67.8% of his pitches over for strikes. And like I said, I got to imagine, Matt, that at that point, a pretty aggressive approach for these hitters is probably the right way to go, yeah?
Well, it's an aggressive approach, but it's a smart approach. You have to look for your fastball or your pitch that you want to swing at. If Ryan Howard hits the ball to left field, it's by Span.
That's going to go all the way to the wall, and Utley's going to be around third heading home, and he's going to wind up scoring, and the Phillies have tied this ball game up here in the bottom of the first. 3 straight hits.
Like I said, aggressive, right?
Aggressive, Murph. Go after those pitches early.
That ball landed, kind of had some English on it and came back in towards him, and I don't missed it. But, you know, Murph, real quick, I like the fact that you see Chase right here going hard from first all the way and anticipating scoring on that ball. But as a guy who throws strikes, you just have to pick one side play to the other and then go from there, and then with 2 strikes expand. But sometimes you can get in trouble if a guy throws strikes because you automatically start swinging before you see where the pitch is thrown. And the rally Murph strikes again.
Yeah, way to go, Murph.
Happy to do my part.
Well, they've scored that a single and an E8. That is the second error of the year for Denard Span, who doesn't make many errors out in center field. So no RBI for Ryan Howard, but 3 straight hits for the Phillies. No balls, 1 strike to Marlon Byrd. And Byrd lines it, caught by Rendon. And there are 2 outs. Ball left his bat so quickly, it was caught so fast that Byrd didn't even have time to throw his bat down.
Timed it perfectly and gets it right off the end of the glove, but I like the fact that Marlon had a nice swing there. The last couple of days he's been a little late getting his foot up. Got his foot down early enough, and unfortunately, wrong spot at the wrong time.
Well, now Dominic Brown is the batter, and Brown takes a strike. Dominic 2 for 3 in game 1 of this series with an RBI. Grady Sizemore played last night, had a good night offensively. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Facing a guy like Pfister, you feel like you're rushed all the time because you work so quick and he throws so many strikes that the blink of an eye, all of a sudden you're 0-2, like Ben was the first at bat. We just finished talking about the lineups and stuff, and next thing you know, he's 0-2. You have to step out, slow him down, and make sure you're ready to hit, not on his time, but on your time. Which I think the Nats did last night in the 7th inning versus Cole Hamels. They slowed him down.
Yeah. Well, it definitely affected him, particularly the at bat by Rendon to start that rally. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Brown. Well, this has been Pfister's MO, even when he was with the Mariners and he struggled with his win-loss record. Swing and a miss. Brown is down on strikes, but the Phillies tie it up. They get 1 on a home run by Jimmy Rollins. The second run scores on a misplay in center field by Denard Span. We'll go to the second, and now Kyle Kendrick has a clean slate. Park for their only visit Monday, September 8th through Thursday, September 11th. Tickets can be purchased anytime, 24/7, by going to Phillies.com. See the wild card in the National League, in Pittsburgh just a game behind San Francisco for that second spot. Atlanta, you know, we talk about how well the Nationals have played. Well, Atlanta's only a game and a half out of the wild card. Here's Wilson Ramos, the bottom third of the order for the Nationals against Kyle Kendrick. First pitch is on the inside corner.
Tom, you a fan of the second wild card?
I am. I wish it was more than one game. Now, if they were to do it any differently, it would have to be a best of three.
Right.
But I am, you know, we all know from being around here in Philadelphia in 07, 08, 09, you know, on and on and on, that there's nothing better than playoff baseball.
Right.
There really isn't. There's a foul ball. It's 1-2. But I just think it's hard to. I mean, everybody wants to get into the postseason, but one and done is pretty difficult to. I mean, it's great, but I think it would be even better if it was 2 of 3. Now that means you're extending the length of the playoffs by a couple days. Inside 2-2. How about you?
I like it. I like it, and the reason why is because it just has, you know, you could be 3 or 4 games out in that last week, and a lot of teams will roll over and figure they're done. But I think it carries the baseball all the way through the end of the season for a lot of teams, as you can see in the National League wild card.
2-2 pitch to Ramos, breaking ball outside. Well, that was the goal of Major League Baseball, is to, you know, add some life to some races that would normally be over with. Now, baseball did get by without the second wild card, just as they got by with a wild card for a long time. Out towards shortstop, Rollins to his left. One away. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball. On a summer night here in South Philadelphia.
That promo was my favorite right there.
Odds are we won't forget it. Although we have read it opposite once or twice this year.
That's all right. As long as you get Budweiser in there, everyone's happy.
Here's Asdrubal Cabrera, who was 2 for 8 in the series. He homered with one of his 2 hits. And here is that home run last night.
Came off a fastball down the zone, and like you said, he golfed it out of the ballpark to left center. Nice easy swing, and I guess his ribs are okay.
Seems like they are. That was the final batter for Cole Hamels, and Hamels, after last night's ball game, didn't seem pleased that he was taken out at that point, and sort of made that known at the end of the game. But Ryan Sandberg said that he spoke with Hamels and everything was fine. Sandberg said he wasn't upset with Hamels' thoughts after the game. He said his concentration is on the fact that the team is playing well on this homestand. He said that's the only thing. This is Sandberg talking. It's the only thing that he's worried about. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cabrera. A line drive to right field. Bird going back. It's sinking, and he's able to make the catch at the track. Little top spin on that one.
I think it was supposed to be a front door sinker. Came back over the plate a little bit. You know, Marlon Bird had a tremendous jump, tremendous angle, and ran that ball down very easily.
Yeah, that'll bring Doug Fister to the plate. Fister's got the elbow guard on that pitching arm. Right-handed thrower, left-handed batter. But it's no balls and 1 strike to him. Chase Utley coming in. And a 1-2-3 second inning for Kyle Kendrick. A couple of ground outs, a line drive. Well, the Taney Little Leaguers getting a chance to take in a ball game. You can never have enough baseball. That seems to be their mantra. Analysis on tonight's series finale between the Phils and the Nationals. Only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Post-Game Live. Bottom of the second, Phillies 2, Nationals 2. By the way, speaking of Ben, I thought his assessment before we went on of the Taney Little Leaguers and just their day and what they went through, I thought it was right on. Just how much he sort of echoed what Ryan Howard said today in the ceremony. Just hope that they've enjoyed it and that they continue to enjoy what they've gone through, and it's so true.
Was it 3 weeks they'll never forget?
Absolutely. Well, Nieves takes inside. It's 2-0. I mean, this must have been an incredible feeling with everything that they've gone through. You know, they were on the Today Show with Matt Lauer. They were obviously playing in Williamsport on national television. They got a chance to play all these games in front of 30,000 plus at Williamsport. But to be able to walk down those stairs, and the Phillies, let's face it, we've talked about the ceremonies the Phillies have had. Phillies do it right. I mean, they literally laid out the red carpet for the kids tonight, and it was great. And for their families. 3-2 to Nieves, who takes a strike on the outside corner.
Well, and at the very end of the red carpet, all the current players are standing there giving high fives and the hugs and the handshakes.
Swing and a miss. Nieves is struck out, so second strikeout for Pfister. And with one away, Cody Ashley's coming to the plate. Well, if you missed it, here is the scene Matt was talking about. I mean, just imagine, you know, getting a chance to shake hands with Jimmy Rollins or Ryan Howard. You know, that has to be an incredible, incredible feeling. Heck, all they were worried about when the summer came to a close was who their teacher was going to be when they went into the 7th grade. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cody Ashley. Chopper to first. And the Roach flips to Pfister covering. And there are 2 outs. Monet Davis got a chance to be on the Steve Harvey show. So she went out to Chicago. She got a chance to throw in the studio. This is the Today Show, being grilled by Matt Lauer. Some selfies. I'm sure they've taken a lot of pictures and signed a lot of autographs. Mayor Nutter, who gave a great speech, also talked about the hat he was wearing. He was wearing the Taney Little League hat, the one that the kids wore up until Williamsport, and he had them all sign it, and it's going to go into the museum, and it'll always be there, recognizing the summer that those kids had. Inside, and Fielding Colbreth says that Kendrick went around. 3 strikeouts in the ball game for Doug Fister. The Phillies go down 1-2-3 here in the second. So we played our first 2. We'll go to the third. Yeah, they did a lot of dancing too. Monet, you're going to dance if you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Steve Harvey, well, not so much. Time now for the Jeep Stuff the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Matt, here's the question. What college did Jimmy Rollins commit to attend before he signed with the Phillies in 1996? The answer will be revealed in just a little bit. If Jimmy had gone to this particular school, man, would he have thrived with those aluminum bats in the college game. Instead, the Phillies took him in the second round, and he signed a contract. And the rest is history. He's the greatest shortstop in Phillies history.
Is that supposed to be a hint?
No. I didn't get
it wasn't very good.
There wasn't really a hint in there at all. I do have a hint for you, though. I'm not going to give it to you right now, but I do have one if you need help.
Well, I know it wasn't a college in Canada, so.
Did not go to college in Canada. I will tell you that it wasn't a college in his home state.
It was or wasn't?
Was not. So he did not go to, he wasn't committed to go to anywhere in California. No. Now, if you somehow have Gigi or James's email, you could email one of Jimmy's parents and ask them. They might know. Here's Denard Span, top of the order for the Nationals. He singled to start the ball game for Washington and came around to score. Scored on the double by Rendon.
I'm going to text Jimmy and see if he checks in between innings.
Well, if he does, I don't think you should divulge that to anybody. Inside, 1-0.
1996?
Yeah. I don't think that'll help you at all, but yes, that's what it was. Span bunts it foul. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Span's hitting .325 against the Phillies here on the season. They had kept him in check up until tonight when he led off the game with a single. He's had a solid season, though. Down the left field line. That'll slice away from Dominic Brown and out of play. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Nationals still have the largest lead of any division leader in baseball. Their 24-14 record since the All-Star break is the 3rd best record. Kansas City has the top record since the break. Kansas City is hosting Minnesota today after their walk-off win last night on the home run by Alex Gordon. Two balls, 2 strikes. And a foul ball over the screen. It remains 2-2.
Yeah, it kind of seemed with Kyle lately, he's got away from his front door sinker. He's got away from his cutter, and his velocity has gone up. So he's throwing more 4-seamers. Last pitch was 92 miles an hour. I still like to see that front door sinker.
Well, particularly against left-handers. He tried it right there. Actually, that may have been a 4-seamer. It never really came back on the inside part of the plate.
I think anytime he sets up inside, I mean, that's a 2-seamer.
That's a 2-seamer, yep.
That's a 2-seamer that came back.
Yep.
But the difference with that one is usually the 88, 89 comes back more than the 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, I do agree with you. And I know we sound like a broken record when we say this. It was a pitch that was effective for him for a good portion of last year, certainly the year before. You know, in talking with him about it, he says he's not really sure why he doesn't throw it as much. He said sometimes it's not called. He said he has been tinkering with his mechanics most of the year, so he doesn't have the same command of it as he used to have. The 3-2 pitch. And that one is lifted out toward right center field. A base hit for Span. He's thinking 2. He's on his way to second. The throw by Bird. Not in time. So Span has a single and a double tonight after an 8-pitch at bat. That'll bring Anthony Rendon to the plate, and he is the subject of our Geico quote of the day. This from his teammate Wilson Ramos. He's a really good hitter. He's got really good power too. I like his swing. I like how he hits. He hits the ball well. He has power. He will get a lot of opportunities to hit a lot of homers. He will hit a lot of home runs in his career. Well, he had the RBI double in the first inning.
Well, and Wilson Ramos is correct when he says he has a very good swing. He has a short swing, a powerful swing. He allows the ball to get deep, and he can be able to drive the ball left field, right field. I find it interesting. It says that he's going to have a lot of opportunity to hit a lot of home runs. Isn't that majority of ball players?
Yes.
I think. If you're going to get 650 at bats, you're going to have
a lot of opportunities. Well, some have that opportunity and some don't come through.
Good point.
Outside, 2-0. Former first-round pick. Did not spend a whole lot of time in the minor leagues before he was brought up.
I know I should know this, but when was the first-round pick? When, in 2012?
Yeah, because he played less than 100 games in the minor leagues before he was brought up to the big leagues. Actually, 2011 first year. I'm sorry. In fact, there was I don't want to say squabble, but like every first-round pick, it took until the signing deadline in August before he he was actually signed, so he didn't start playing until 2012. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Anthony Rendon. Ground ball, just foul. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Braves have jumped out to a 3-1 lead over the Mets. Jason Hayward has hit a home run for Atlanta. Atlanta's lost 3 straight ball games. Trying to salvage a win tonight against the Mets. Julio Teheran on the mound for Atlanta in that ball game. And Zach Wheeler on the hill for the Mets. Out toward right field. Bird got a late start, but he's able to get there to make the catch. Span cannot advance. It was too shallow, and there's 1 out. I think as aggressive as Marlin plays out in right field, even when he freezes on a ball like that, his initial step is so quick to get back on track. He very rarely has any issues. And now Jason Worth is coming up. Jason walked his first time up. Curveball that drops in for a strike. Well, he kind of is reverting back to the game plan from his last outing. He's not totally pitching backwards, but he's pitching closer to that pattern than, let's say, the first inning of tonight's ball game. Would you agree with that?
For sure. I mean, if you look at the numbers don't lie.
That one is floated over the head of Cody Ashe. It'll drop for a hit. Spans around third, coming home. The throw to the plate by Dominic Brown is short, so the Nationals retake the lead. An RBI single, and that is RBI number 71 for Jason Worth. Good job by Will Nieves to come up and get that ball and not allow Worth to go to second base on the throw.
Actually, a good pitcher. Was well off the plate. It was a ball. Jammed and broke his bat at 93-mile-an-hour sinker, or I should say 93-mile-an-hour runner. Like you said, nice job on Nieves coming up and catching that ball in the air and keeping J-Dub at first base.
All right, so Span has scored a couple runs here tonight. The Nationals are back on top. And Adam LaRoche, who hit into a 4-6-3 double play his last time up, will be the batter. Swing and a miss, 0-1. A change up to LaRoche. How about the run differential now for the Nationals is at 106 plus 106. Another change up, 0-2.
And as we were talking about numbers before J-Dub got that base at the left field, but the numbers don't lie. On the year, he throws 3% of a curveball. His last outing, he threw almost 15% in that game with curveball.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I thought it might even be higher than that, but it was at least that. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It was a credit to Carlos Ruiz and Kendrick for adjusting their game plan in that last outing. There's Carlos getting the night off tonight. And a call, strike 3, right on the outside part of the plate. Strikeout number 1 for Kendrick. On Friday, September 12th, the Phillies will begin a 3-game series against the Miami Marlins. 2 night games and then a day game. On Sunday, a 1:35 first pitch. It's the New Jersey Education Association Fanatic Oyo minifigure and buildable dugout set. Free to fans 14 and under. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. So here's Desmond. He singled his last time up at an RBI. He was hunting for a fastball there, and he got a cutter, and he fouled it back. It's 0-1.
I wanted him to hit.
I'll tell you what, almost all the hitters on the Nats are very aggressive first pitch fastball swinging. We've seen it last night, the first game throughout the year.
Yeah, last night, I think Hamels fed off that.
Yeah.
At least through 6 innings, he fed off it. Cole wound up getting a no decision in yesterday's game. As he gave way to the dominant Ken Giles. I mean, absolutely dominant last night. Down and away, 1-2. Mentioned all of the Phillies players and what they did before the ball game. There's Giles. What they did before the ball game with the kids from the Taney Little League. Give credit to Ian Desmond. He sat down the left field line and shook hands with every one of the All-Stars. It wasn't that he needed to be down there either. He sat there and waited and congratulated each and every one of them as they went by after their victory lap. A victory lap, Matt, by the way, that you or I could not have done.
No, I would have got the 401. I would have laid down for a nap.
I mean, they were sprinting.
Yeah. That's how Cal Ripken Jr. started. He got down to the end of the dugout and he started walking.
1-2 pitch in the dirt, and the A-base finds it. It's 2-2. Here we go with Ian Desmond. Zion, Kai, they get a chance to shake hands. The Savoy Choir giving some high fives. Swing and a miss. He got him a high 4-seam fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kendrick. It was a 26-pitch inning. The Nationals retake the lead. We've completed 2.5 on to the bottom of the third. It's the Nationals 3 and the Phillies 2. Hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. and by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Here in Philadelphia, the Phillies winding down this homestand. Home games are winding down overall. Phillies have been better, obviously, here at home. 13-6 in their last 19. They've won 3 straight series for the first time since July of 2013, as Ben Revere leads it off. Revere takes outside. It's 1-0. And now 2 balls and 1 strike. Ryan Sandberg was definitely positive today about how well the team has played, how crisp they've played here at home recently. His hope is that they can carry it over to the last 5 weeks of the season overall. They'll bring Jimmy Rollins to the plate with 1 out. Well, it's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Well, here's Rollins, who homered his last time up. For Jimmy, his 17th home run. Rollins now with 2,295 career hits. On the outside corner, Rollins thought that was a little low. He takes a walk. Shortly, Matt, Rollins will become the 24th player in baseball history to reach 2,300 hits and to have 450 or more stolen bases. Now, there are other categories you can throw in there, and that list will dwindle even more. But considering he just reached his 450th stolen base the other day, and he's on the doorstep of 2,300 hits, it says a lot that only 23 other players in baseball history have reached those 2 numbers together.
Remarkable.
The 3-2 pitch to Rollins, and he fouls it back.
As we talk about home runs back in the first inning, little cutter inside, drops a barrel and hits a very high fly ball. At another ballpark, as that ball carried. This little fella's got some power.
Inside, ball 4, and Rollins draws his 59th walk of the season. And the first one issued by Pfister. Oh, that home run that Jimmy Rollins hit, for each one hit this year, 1 tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees, a partnership between the Phillies, PHS, and Aramark. Home Run for Trees is part of a project to restore the region's tree coverage. For more information, visit Phillies.com/red goes green. Utley shoots one in the air to right center field, and Denard Span puts it away.
Seems like we've been planting a lot more trees around the area lately.
That's a good thing.
It's at 8 now, this homestand?
Yes. 8 in now 9 games. That's not too bad compared to where the Phillies were early on this season. There's Howard, who singled his last time up. Howard's hit 3 home runs here in August. Oh. Jimmy looked like he may have been in between steps there on that toss over to first. one gets away, and up to second base will go Rollins. And the tying run is in scoring position now for Howard.
Just overthrew a cutter. Ramos, instead of trying to slide over and blocking it, figured he had a better chance with the backhand, and Jimmy gets to second base.
And now the Nationals will adjust their shifts. Desmond will come over to the right side a little bit more. Off the end of the bat, and a roller to that right side. This will be 6-3 in your books. No runs, no hits, one man left in scoring position for the Phillies. We've completed our first three. We'll go on to the fourth. Philadelphians Avery weatherproof of labels from WB Mason are built to withstand the extreme elements. Trust Avery labels with your most essential shipments. Who but WB Mason? We'll go to the top of the fourth inning. Bryce Harper, Wilson Ramos, and Asdrubal Cabrera are the scheduled hitters against Kyle Kendrick. Kendrick's allowed 3 runs so far and 5 hits. He got Harper to ground out his first time up. So Harper's 0 for 1. Breaking ball, and it's 0-1. It's already 60 pitches for Kyle Kendrick as we begin the fourth. Good thing for the Phillies is that it's a rested bullpen. They had an off day tomorrow before they head to New York for a 3-game series. Out of play, 0-2. Nationals, meanwhile, will head to Seattle. They'll have a 3-game series beginning Friday against the Mariners. They'll have an off day tomorrow. Probably spending much of it in bed, sleeping after they get to Seattle.
I doubt it.
Back toward the middle, flagged down by Kendrick. One away. Nice play by Kyle. And that'll bring Ramos to the plate.
Nice slow curveball, has him out in front of it a little bit. And PFPs, pitcher fielding practice.
Well, he's gotten more ground balls tonight than normal, but back a couple years ago he was essentially a ground ball pitcher. Do you still think that if Kyle gets back to the success he had in past years, he's going to have to get back to getting more of these here?
Yeah, I do, and it shows by his late movement, especially that fastball right there at 91 had a real late sinking action, and I don't know if he's changed his grip a little bit, because earlier in the season it wasn't a sinker, it was more of a runner. It's east to west. This season he's been at times showing that he can get that sinker down in the zone.
Yeah, you see 43% ground ball outs this year, but over his last 5 starts, close to 50% of his outs have been fly ball outs.
Well, and I think that comes back to where his velocity, he threw a pitch earlier at 94. He struck out Ian Desmond last inning at 94 miles an hour. So
he started the first 3 hitters of this inning off with a breaking pitch, which is not normally what he would do, but it seems to be working. An aggressive team, you get them off that fastball. One ball, 1 strike to Cabrera. Utley to his left from shallow right field, throws in time. That's a fine play by the Phil's second baseman. The second 1-2-3 inning of the night for Kyle Kendrick. That was a 7-pitch 4th inning. Well, everybody getting set to arrive to their favorite spot here at Citizens Bank Park, Ashburn Alley. Phillies down by 1 when we return. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Marlon Byrd, Dominic Brown, and Willie Abase are scheduled to lead it off. Well, before the ball game, each of the members of the Taney Little League that went to Williamsport got a chance to throw out a ceremonial first pitch. Marlon Byrd, Carlos Ruiz, Chase Utley, you name it, they were there. And then they each received their own Phillies jersey with their name and their Mid-Atlantic region number on the back. And even the coaches got a chance to get their own jersey. And Murph is with the manager of the Taney Dragons.
I am indeed, Alex Rice, and first and foremost, welcome to Citizens Bank Park. Quite an entrance you guys made today. What a day for you guys, for your team. What a week, really, what a month. Have you been able to put it in perspective, what all is happening?
No, not even close. I mean, as if it wasn't unbelievable enough to be in Williamsport. With the mayor and the Phillies and Steve put together for the kids today was just, it was unbelievable.
Let's talk about those kids, because they really, you and I were just talking in the break, and they really have captivated the city. And it is hard to believe, even probably for you, that it has had the kind of impact that it has had. But through it all, what can you say about this team of yours, not only on the field and how good they were, but off the field and the way they've handled all of this?
Well, I mean, I think everybody knows that, you know, we're a very, very good team. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent. And, you know, we have a lot of talent Oh, they've handled it. They've handled it great. And it goes with not just this aspect of the accolades, but just the pressure and the attention that hasn't. You know, when we got to Williamsport, there's a lot of pressure and a lot of media, and it didn't affect them at all. They were focused on the games and meeting the other kids, the other 12-year-olds, and playing the rec center, playing ping pong. And that, honestly, that's why we got to Williamsport, because the kids are just so level-headed, mature, cool, and for the games we were in and the number of times we came from behind and won one-run games, that's how we got to Williamsport.
This one might be two, and it is. Looks like one of the double plays your team turned a couple of times in Williamsport. Well, before I let you go, just let me ask you this, because I know the Taney baseball program has been around now for 20 years, but this to Little League, it's been new. I know you were a big part of bringing Little League to the Taney program, and I'm sure that your thoughts on Little League are very positive. When you stop to think back about your time in Williamsport, what will you remember most?
I'll remember taking my kids, the 12 kids, my team, walking out onto Lomity, into Lomity Stadium, onto the field, and if you're a baseball fan at all, you know what that means, and playing 4 games in Lomity Stadium with my kids, just pretty special. I
know you got a little emotional earlier today, and I'm sure it's a little overwhelming for you. When will you be able to get some sleep? That's the next question.
Tomorrow. I don't think we have anything planned for tomorrow. At least I probably do. Nobody's brave enough to tell me. But I think tomorrow's clear, and I'll just go into work late.
Well, good luck with that, and get some sleep. And on behalf of everybody with the Phillies organization and Comcast Sportsnet, we want to just say congratulations and thanks for the ride, and we hope you enjoyed it as well.
Thank you.
Tom, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. No runs, 2 hits, 1 man left for the Phillies. We've played 4. We'll go to the 5th with the Nats up by 1. Quality Plus Sports Stores. Go further. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. The annual clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. Nationals 3, Phillies 2. 3 runs on 5 hits, 1 error. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Phillies.
Been nice to see with Murph asking Coach how it was walking out with over 30,000 people to watch a Little League at age 12.
Yeah, that scene that night was just incredible. Primetime game. Folks lined up at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning to get into Lamade Stadium. It is a great scene if you ever have a chance to go up there. If you're going to go up and see, let's say, a Cross-Cutters game, stay for a couple extra days. They'll be out of town as Pfister fouls that one. And stay for a couple extra days to go see a couple of games for the Little League World Series. It is a neat spot. It really is. And popularity has grown. Fan popularity has grown for those games over the years as more games are televised. 0-2 pitch to Pfister. Check swing. He did not go, according to Manny Gonzalez. It's such a small field, too, Matt. I mean, you forget sometimes how small the Little League field is, and you see all those people. Breaking ball, and Kendrick picks up his third strikeout of the night as Pfister's retired. Phillies fantasy camp is for men and women 30 years old or older. It's a chance of a lifetime. Call 610-520-3400 for more information. You get a Phillies uniform, your favorite number, and so much more. A fantasy game versus the legends at Bright House Field. Again, 610-520-3400 for more information. One out. Here's Denard Span. Span has scored 2 of the 3 runs for the Nationals tonight. Folks have probably heard this story before, but about the friendship that Span and Ben Revere have. Span is a little older than Ben. Both grew up professionally in the Twins organization. And Ben has talked often about how Span has helped him understand how to be a major league ball player, how to be a professional ball player. The two are still very close. In fact, before a game between the Phillies and the Nationals, most times you'll see the two of them chatting. One ball, 2 strikes. And a check swing and a breaking ball, 2-2. There was a while last week when Span was also involved in this race, this batting title race. Now he's dropped off under 300, partly because of this series. And over his last 10 games, he's hitting about 240. That one's hit well, deep to right field. Just his second home run of the year, into the second deck, and then down to the first level. He is a triple away from the cycle tonight, and it's 4-2 Washington. Well, Ben and Denard were both tied with 1 home run on the year. And now Span takes the lead in that friendship.
He gets his foot down nice and early. It's a thigh high. It looks like a two-seamer that just started in the middle of the plate. Didn't move a whole lot. And Span's a strong kid, can swing the bat well, and drove it in the second deck.
May 21st was the first home run of the year for Denard Span. And here we are in the last week of August, and he has his second home run. And now Anthony Rendon takes a strike, and it's no balls and 1 strike to Rendon. He's going to have it, you would think, 2 more at bats. Needing just the triple for the cycle. 0-2. Although I guess it's kind of silly to say just a triple.
For you and I, yes.
Tad high, and it's 1-2 to Rendon.
That might have been the first home run hit this year that made the second deck.
You know, you mentioned that the other night, if any have, and for the life of me, I can't remember. But that one, I mean, for a guy that's not a home run hitter, that's a pretty good poke right there. Like Fister's trying to talk some hitting with him. The pitch down, fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Back toward the middle. Utley surrounds it and throws Rendon out for the second out here in the 5th inning. So 2 away. That'll bring Jason Worth up. He has an RBI single tonight. 9 ground ball outs for Kendrick. 9 of the 14 outs recorded. I believe Jason just asked them to check the ball or throw the ball out.
Still trying to figure out why they throw so many baseballs out of the game.
Well, Jason wanted that one thrown out.
Right, so a ball in the dirt on a pitch is thrown out of the game, but a one-hop ground ball to any infielder stays in the game. What's the difference?
That's a good point.
It's going off the bat harder than it is when the pitcher throws it in there. I'm going to put my foot down and put a new rule in next year.
Yeah, we're going to make the fans unhappy, Matt. They all get the baseball when they throw it out, or at least many of them.
Then I'm not making a new rule.
Don't make that new rule. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a good point now that I think about it. Because they don't throw the ball out after every play. The only way the ball even would end up back in circulation if the umpire put it back in his pocket. Other than that, once that ball is thrown out, it's a BP ball.
Yep, or sent down to the minor leagues. They have 2 buckets in the dugout, 1 for game and 1 for BP or minor league baseball.
Tuck's got a fresh set of baseballs that he's going to bring out. Chopper to short. Easy hop for Jimmy Rollins. And Worth is retired, but the Nationals tack on another run on a home run. A solo shot. The 30th home run in the month of August for the Washington Nationals. That's second most in Major League Baseball. This one came off the bat of Denard Span. A quiz answer. All right, Matt, here we go. What college did Jimmy Rollins commit to attend before he signed with the Phillies in 1996?
Well, I have 3 written down.
All right, you have 3 written down. You have 3 powerhouses written down, right?
I have Miami.
That's a powerhouse.
Arizona State.
That is a powerhouse.
And Florida State.
Arizona State, by the way, got a new coach this year. And Florida State. They're a powerhouse with Jameis Winston part of their pitching rotation as Kendrick takes inside.
I'm still waiting for the hint.
Well, the hint is Barry Bonds went there.
Arizona State.
Arizona State is correct.
Thanks, Tom.
Was that up there when I gave you the hint, or was log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Jeep Stump the Fans. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Kendrick. And now 2-2. Arizona State must be a pretty nice place to play college baseball, I would think. Over to third, big hop for Rendon. And 1 out. Ben Revere coming up. Oh, look inside the suites here at Citizens Bank Park. Pretty nice place to sit and watch a game. Suites go from the left field foul pole all the way to the right field foul pole.
And I think when the Canadians were here visiting,
yeah.
I think we hit every suite.
Just went in and just said hi to people.
Said hello.
Starts with the Ashburn suite all the way down the left field line. It's suite number 1. And you can have many different things when you walk in there, from hot dogs to cheesesteaks, to popcorn, little cookies, everything.
Budweiser.
No balls and 2 strikes to Revere. And he bloops one down the left field line. Harper on the run, and it's a foul ball. And it remains 0-2. Matt, what is it like to battle for a batting title? I know you won one in the minor leagues, or winter ball, right, in Mexico?
Back-to-back years. I won in 1991 in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
That's right.
And in 1991 in winter ball.
There's a liner to center field, and Span tracks it down. He hadn't played well. Well, you hit .333 in Harrisburg in the Eastern League when you won the batting title there. What'd you hit in Mexico? Remember? I know it was over 300, right?
It was over 300. I think it was like around
329.
Something. I beat Jose Talentino by 2 points.
All right. Well, what is that like though when you're playing a season? Obviously, you have so many more objectives, so many more goals than the individual honors. But that's a pretty special thing to win a batting title.
It is, and you press. I mean, if someone says, "No, I don't think about it," you do, because every day you're reminded by the media. Every day you look in the paper. I mean, back in the day, that's when we used to look at the paper. I learned not to read the paper anymore. You start thinking about it. You start pressing a little bit. If you go 0 for 2, but then you start thinking, well, maybe I should lay a bunt down. You know, a lot of things go through your mind.
Yeah, I mean, you think about in Harrisburg, the Harrisburg Patriot News. It's a great newspaper. They covered you guys on a daily basis. I'm sure there was still the attention even in Mexico. 1-2 pitch to Rollins. Fights that one off. Bloops it out towards shallow right center. Cabrera won't get to it. And Rollins has his second hit of the night. He's been on base 3 times. Well, for Ben, nobody's won a title, batting title in Philadelphia since Whitey did it in '58. Whitey did it in '55 and '58. Pete Rose finished second in 1981. Nobody's finished even second in a batting title since Rose did it in '81. And Ben is battling Justin Morneau right now, among others, but Morneau's the leader, and Ben's second. Utley 1 for 2.
You know, I'm a firm believer if Ben walked more, he would be probably leading by about 10 to 12 points.
That many, huh?
Yeah. Because the 1 for 4, the 1 for 5 games could turn into be a 1 for 3 game with a couple of walks.
Well, as you said, and Mike Schmidt said this the other day, that could be a part of his game that he can adjust as he continues to grow. Utley takes a breaking ball and it's 0-1.
But I don't think it's going to change because he sees so many fastballs. You know, he's a singles hitter. He's stolen base. You know, he has the stolen bases. The only thing I would like to see a little different is 2-0, 3-1 swings once in a while. But then again, I mean, you hate to take away the to be aggressive out of hitters. I just think when 2-0, 3-1, he takes too big of a swing.
That one's off the glove of LaRoche. It squirts in the shallow right field. Rollins will get to third. And Chase Utley has his second hit of the night. The day off is putting a little spring back in Utley's bat. 2 for 3, and it'll bring Ryan Howard to the plate.
And you see he has that nice little timing right now. The head down. It all came back to where he hit that ball to left center his first at bat. Stayed inside the ball. Got back of feeling with the ball getting deep again. And then all of a sudden you realize the fastball's inside. There's a reaction swing. You don't have to force it.
Howard did not like that call from Dan Iasonia, and he's behind 0-1. All right, so the Phillies have the tying run over at first base. They're down by 2 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Pfister, 73 pitches so far with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Check swing, that's a fair ball. Pfister comes down, bumps into Ramos, and is still able to throw out Ryan Howard. 1-3 on the putout, no runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We've completed 5. We'll go to the 6th inning with the Phillies down 2. Found success with his 8th major league team in the early stages since his arrival. Before landing on the mound in Philadelphia, Jerome Williams made 119 career starts, had an under 500 record, and an ERA in the mid-4s. The 32-year-old right-hander has changed his approach and is finding success in a Phillies uniform. In 20 1/3 innings, he's pitched to an ERA of 1.77, while opponents are hitting a feeble 183 against him. And his newfound success is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, we showed this earlier when Monet was on the Steve Harvey show. She was showing him how to dance a little bit. Well, the Fanatic decided to take a page out of Steve Harvey's book, and he wanted to show the youngsters how to do a little dance. These kids have probably danced that dance so many times over the last couple of weeks. And I believe Zion Spearman hopped on the ATV after the Fanatic was done. As his teammates walked off, he took a ride off. There's Zion. He asked, and then he really held on tight. He's waving sheepishly, though, because he's trying to hang on to the Fanatic so he doesn't fall. Adam LaRoche will lead it off here in the top of the 6th inning. Phillies down 4-2. LaRoche is 0 for 2. He's hit it to a double play, and he is struck out. It's imperative for Kyle to keep this at a 4-2 ball game as Revere takes charge in center. And there's one quick out here in the 6th. I wonder if there's somebody he could talk to about a former player that used to struggle in the first inning. You know, Jamie talked about that, how when he struggled in the first inning, he recreated the first inning in his bullpen before he came out. And Jamie, I know, has talked to Kyle about it before. I wonder if there's somebody he can talk to who's had that problem at times during his career. Because it is weird. He's never had this problem before.
Honestly, I really don't think there's anyone you could talk to.
There's a base hit the opposite way for Desmond.
To get you out of that first inning slump. Really, I don't think there is.
Well, Kyle said that next year it won't be a problem. So maybe he has a plan on how to adjust next year. Or maybe he just thinks a clean slate is the answer. So off season of not, thinking about it, just going back to work in 2015.
I thought he wasn't thinking about it.
That's a good point. You can go round and round with this one.
Well, or you could say he says next year he's got a clean slate. He's going to go back to, he won't have that problem next year. So why not go the next start? You have to think about it. It's like as a hitter, when you get up there and you consistently hit ground balls to first base, you think about it. You have to. You're human.
Oh, 1-1 to Harper. He's grounded out twice. Once to Kendrick, the other one to Utley. A little low. It's 1-1. I think one thing that you try to notice is his windup different? Is there tension that first inning? Is there body language different? Anything like that? I don't know. As Desmond draws a throw.
He has gone with a different leg kick at times. Picks his pace up a little bit. How about trying the other side of the rubber towards first base? Maybe you might get better movement on your sinker. Roy Halladay did it, and it worked for him.
One ball, one strike to Harper. Outside, 2-1. Threw the changeup, and Harper was thinking fastball, and he went ripping, but he was out in front. It's 2-2. And a call, strike 3. It looked like he backdoored a cutter to Harper. And Harper didn't think that was a strike. He hesitated for a moment. 4 strikeouts for Kendrick.
Yeah, we set up away, and that's a two-seamer.
It was a two-seamer. Looked like it, from our vantage point, that it backed it up, but by that one right there, it ran to the outside part of the plate. So now Ramos, the batter. He's gotten him to ground out twice. Off the face mask of Will Nieves. It's 0-1. Runner goes. Pitch is taken for a ball. The throw to second base, not in time. And Desmond has just swiped his 17th bag of the season. And he's in scoring position with 2 outs.
He had a pretty good jump on a cutter. Nieves came out and fired to second base, but Desmond just had a pretty good jump there.
Nieves just asked the home plate umpire where that pitch was. It didn't look like it was a bad pitch. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Ramos. Boy, Desmond was thinking about it. He had a huge lead at second base.
And Kyle was thinking about throwing that ball as well.
One ball and 1 strike. Out towards center field, playable for Ben Revere. And that'll do it for the 6th inning for the Nationals. Kendrick, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Middle of the 6th inning, the Phils looking for a little offense when we return against Doug Fister. Store for the ride of your life and save big today. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. By Budweiser. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball. And by W.B. Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Well, it's a nice night here in Philadelphia. The celebration for the Taney Little Leaguers all day long in Philadelphia, and even before tonight's game. Great T-shirt given out to all fans who came to the game tonight. It was the Taney baseball T-shirt with a little Philly spin to it. Really an outstanding giveaway. Marlon Byrd will lead it off for the Phils here at the bottom of the 6th against Doug Fister. Marlon is 1 for 2. Not only because of tonight, but just in general, I think you got to give Fister a little bit of credit. You know, he began his career with the Seattle Mariners, as we mentioned, and he wasn't. I mean, he was okay as a starting pitcher, but certainly wasn't what he is this year, or even what he was with the Tigers the last couple of years. He began his career with a 12-30 record, and since that time, he's 44-24. For an overall record of 56-54. There are only 2 other active pitchers who began their career 15 or more games under 500 who have since gone 15 games above 500. Zach Greinke being one, and Kyle Loesch being the other. Greinke, I didn't realize this. Greinke began his career 15-32 with the Kansas City Royals.
I was there when he struggled.
Really?
Yep. His rookie year.
I didn't realize that he had struggled that much. Well, he's 119-90 right now. Greinke is. So that's a heck of a turnaround.
A little different when you see potential in pitchers, or when you have hitters who struggle at the start of their career. You might never see them back in the big leagues after a couple of years of struggling. It's all about potential, what you see in pitchers. Hitters, of course, have to perform.
Well, I think the other thing with that potential, if you're, let's say, Greinke, your first-round pick, going to be given a little more slack than some hitters, and the fact that he throws in the 90s. And now he eventually went on to win a Cy Young. Loesch has had a solid career. Where will Fister wind up? Who knows? Right now he's in the bottom of the 6th inning, and he's just given up a leadoff single to Marlon Byrd, who's 2 for 3.
All right, well, here's the thing about with Greinke. Spring training, he comes in. He's all right, guys, I'm done. We say, all right, we'll have a good day off. You know, we'll see you tomorrow. He goes, no, I'm done. I retire. We're like, what? Seriously, what? He was done. He walked away from the game. They talked him back, coming back. He asked, can I be a closer? They said no. He said, well, can I be a shortstop? Go back down to the minor leagues.
Because he was a good athlete, and at the time, I believe was considered a very good hitter too.
He was a good athlete. So I guess they had a pretty good chat with him. And next thing you know, he is what he is now.
1-0 to Dominic Brown, and Brown lines one toward the alley in right center field. Span's not going to get that one. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Bird around third, being waved home. Brown pulls into second. It's an RBI double. It's a one-run game. Well, that was a sweet swing from Dominic Brown, his 56th RBI of the season.
Two-seamer missed the spot. Ramos wanted away. You're right, Tom. It was a very nice swing, compact, drove the ball to right center. A good base running by Marlon Byrd, realizing it's going to be in the gap. He's going to score from first base easily.
All right, now if you're in the A base, your job is to, even though you're at the bottom of the order, you figure there'll be a pinch hitter for Kendrick. Your job is to get him over to third, and that's why the A base showed bunt there. With Ashe coming up, it's 1 ball and no strikes.
This leads back to where key is the first of the game. Do whatever it takes, do the little things. Get guys over, get them in.
Bastardo warming up in the bullpen. And Will bunts that one foul. It's 2-1.
Definitely got to get this bunt to third base because Adam LaRoche is very shallow at first base.
Swinging away. A little surprised by that? Nice catch by that fan.
No, because I think he was bunting on his own. He's been swinging the bat well, bottom of the sixth. He controls the bat well. I think he was bunting. Honestly, I think he was bunting on 2-0 kind of surprised me. But 2-1, no.
Over to third and a foul ball. Two and two to Will Nieves. Phillies will have a couple shots to get Brown home. Be much easier if they can get him over to third with less than 2 outs. Now the Nationals are countering with a left-hander in the bullpen. Ground ball to shortstop. Now Brown heading to third is going to be a dead duck. So he's thrown out. The fielder's choice for Nieves. And 6-5 on the putout. One away.
You know, I mean, that's a ball you're told to go to third base. Any ball right at you or to your left, the only thing is you have to check behind you where your shortstop plays. He was playing a little shallow.
And it was hit pretty sharply, too. So Brown was thrown out easily. Here's Cody Ashe. Ashe 0 for 2. He's grounded out. He's also popped out. Curveball inside. 2-0.
Yeah, and also it depends on who the base runner is at second base, knowing your own speed, if you can get to third base or not. Me, I'm going back to second.
Fly ball left center field. It's playable for Bryce Harper. And back to first goes Will Nieves, and Grady Sizemore's coming up to pinch hit. Follow every Phillies game with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone or tablet. Get live look-ins, radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and much more. Download at bat on the App Store. Visit Phillies.com mobile today. All right, Matt Williams is going to keep the righty in to face Grady Sizemore here. So Bastardo's going to come in for the Phillies. Kendrick is pinch hit for. Kyle leaves after 6. Scatters 7 hits and 4 runs. Phillies have banged out 9 hits against Pfister. That ties his season high of hits allowed. Boy, it's a shame they couldn't get Brown over to third. If you think about Ashe's fly ball, that would have tied the game. In the air to right field. Towering shot. Worth going back. It is gone! A 2-run pinch hit home run for Grady Sizemore. And the Phillies have taken the lead. It's 5-4 here at the bottom of the sixth. Sizemore did not like the call on the curveball for strike 2. This time he sat back and launched.
He stayed back. No balls, 2 strikes. Out front a little bit, but look at his hand stay back. Elevates that ball to right field for a huge no ball, 2 strike, 2-1 home run.
So the Phillies have taken the lead 5-4 for a second straight start. They have come from behind to help Kyle Kendrick. And Matt Williams decided to stay with the right-hander. I don't blame him, even though Pfister had given up a season high at the time 9 hits, now 10. Revere fouls it off. It's 1-2. Well, Sizemore off the bench, his first career pinch hit home run. Ryan Sandberg said about his bench tonight, because people were wondering about Sizemore not playing and Ruff not playing. Ooh. He said they got to be ready, and that is going to smart. And now both benches have been warned by the home plate umpire, Dan Iassogna. That's a shame. Let's hope Ben's okay. You could hear it up here. The ball hitting the wrist. Take a listen. And you can hear Ben as well. It's the 5th batter that Pfister's hit this year. Dan Iassogna, who hasn't been here the last couple of days, he wasn't wasting any time to throw warnings out there. And now Matt Williams is coming out, and that's going to be it for Doug Fister. Fister just said something to Ben Revere. The whole warnings thing is a topic we can address after this pitching change. Thornton's coming on for the Nationals. Fister, with a sea of boos, will head off the mound here in Philadelphia. The Phillies have taken the lead 5-4 here at the bottom of the 6th inning. And have a base runner. Here at Citizens Bank Park. They'll be in town beginning Friday, September 26th, the 7:05 first pitch. Sunday the 28th is Fan Appreciation Day here at Citizens Bank Park. Tickets for that series, those will be meaningful ball games for the Atlanta Braves. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Ben Revere joking around with Adam LaRoche. Well, that's a good sign. He's smiling. Doug Fister said something to Revere as he was walking off. And Matt, you play this game for a long time. You know, it's tough sometimes to know when something's intentional or unintentional. That seemed to be unintentional from Fister.
It's just supposed to be a fastball that was supposed to be inside. Unfortunately, hits him in the elbow. The reason why there was benches warned because it came after a home run. Now, it could have been a curveball, it could have been a changeup. They still would have warned the benches.
So that's kind of understood?
To a certain degree, yeah, it is. Now it was up a little higher. You know, the Phillies didn't show nobody up on the home run. So.
Well, here's Rollins with a runner at first against Thornton. Thornton was picked up from the New York Yankees after he was designated for assignment. Rollins 2 for 2. On the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies now with 5 runs on 10 hits here tonight. They've taken the lead over the Nationals. Rollins way inside at 96.
That's the key right there, though, especially for the Phillies pitchers, is starting in the top of the 7th, still remain pitching inside.
Yeah, I guess that's why my initial reaction was, well, you're warning them pretty quick, but as you explained, after a home run, it's not that odd to see, and particularly a veteran umpire in Iasonia, issue the warnings that quickly. 2 balls and 1 strike to Rollins, and another throw over to first. Revere is back.
I have seen pitchers throughout my career get kicked out of games for hitting people with a curveball. If you're that good where you can hit somebody on purpose with a curveball, whew.
There was a game here, John Lannon's major league debut, where he was thrown out after he hit Utley and Howard in back-to-back pitches, but the second one was a curveball. 3-1 to Rollins. And there's ball 4. The Phillies have runners on first and second here in the 6th inning. And Chase Utley will bat against the lefty. Matt Williams, who brought in the left-hander to face Jimmy Rollins and switch him around. Now you've got the lefty on the lefty. I'm sure you weren't expecting a walk, though. That wasn't part of the game plan. He fouls the fastball back 0-1. Chase has had a couple of good swings here tonight.
Hard to believe that somebody would let a left-hander throwing 96, 97 go.
Mm-hmm. Play, and it remains no balls and 2 strikes.
Now Thornton came up with the Seattle Mariners, correct? Then went to the White Sox.
Give that a look. I know he went to the White Sox. Yes.
So when he first came up with the Seattle Mariners, all he threw was 98, 99, 100.
Well, he fouls it back again. Yep, first round pick of the Mariners in 1998, 22nd pick overall. He did not go to Arizona State. He went to Grand Valley State.
It's because he's a pitcher and a lefty.
Yeah, he spent 04 and 05 up with the Seattle Mariners, the big club. The Yankees, he was 0-3 with a 2.55 ERA in 46 games, mostly as a lefty specialist. He got into the kitchen of Utley. And the Phillies are retired here in the 6th inning. But the Phils have taken the lead 3 runs, including 2 on a pinch hit home run by Grady Sizemore. We're on to the 7th inning into the Phillies bullpen, and the Phils have a 1-run lead. The Phillies did a little offensive dancing of their own in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's time now for our local Honda dealers game summary. The Phils, with that 3 spot, have taken the lead 5-4 as we go to the top of the 7th. Kyle Kendrick is the pitcher of record on the winning side right now. He won 6 tonight, scattered 7 hits and 4 strikeouts. Doug Fister is the pitcher of record on the losing side. Season high 10 hits allowed in 5 2/3. So now it's up to the Phillies bullpen, which has been very good. And first up is Antonio Bastardo, 5-7 for Bastardo, 68 strikeouts and 54 1/3. And he's coming on to face Asdrubal Cabrera, then Kevin Franzen, it seems like, and then the top of the order, Denard Span. So 8, 9, and 1. All right, well, the Phillies bullpen, they've been strike throwing machines during the month of August. 81 strikeouts in 70 innings out of the bullpen in the month of August. They've been part of a staff that during this homestand has an ERA coming into tonight of 2.76. So Cabrera, switch hitter, will bat right-handed. Swings at the first pitch. A shot to left center field. Revere in the alley will run it down right at the edge of the track. And Murph, like everybody else, you can let out a
Oh, good, because I'm going to, yeah.
It's time for the Major League Notebook.
Yes, it is. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy University, guys, and Jorge Soler, one of the Cubs' top prospects, got the call to the big leagues tonight. Got the start tonight, batting 5th and playing right field for the Cubs. And in his first at bat, Well, he made a difference. Hit a home run in his first at-bat off of Matt Latos of the Cincinnati Reds. He is, as I mentioned, one of their top prospects, and was playing for Manny Ramirez down at AAA, who told him before he came up, don't change anything. What you're doing down here will work up there. Well, that was some pretty good advice. 1 for 3 tonight is Soler. And Billy Hamilton also in that game. The Reds center fielder stole third in the 4th inning. It was stolen base number 50 for him this season. He becomes the 9th Red to do that, 9th Red to steal 50 bases. And I ask you guys, do you know who the last Cincinnati Red was to steal 50 bases?
Boy, that's a good question.
Barry Larkin.
Who? Barry Larkin? No, not correct.
Dip Roberts.
No. I
Deion
was at a buzzer.
Sanders.
Deion Sanders is right. Very good. Who said that? You, Tom?
Yeah.
Rob Dibble.
1997.
Rob
Norm
Dibble.
Charlton.
Well done. There's your Major League notebook, gentlemen.
All right. We appreciate that, Merv. How about the Cubs, though? Between Baez, Soler, and they haven't even thought about Chris Bryant yet. Bryant, between AA and AAA, has hit 43 home runs and has 109 RBIs. And he's only hitting .329. Maybe that's what's holding him back. 1 ball and 1 strike to Franzen. 1-2.
Is he a DH?
Well, no. I mean, they've been tinkering with his positions. You know, he could play first base. He's played all third base this year. But they're debating on whether to move him to the outfield.
Well, you got a good hitter by Rizzo at first.
Right. First is done because Rizzo's going to have that.
Hit his 30th yesterday.
But yeah, that's the next name you would think for the Cubs that they'll bring up. That's an awfully close pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Franzen.
So that's probably the reason why they're looking for a front line starter next year.
Correct.
To help out with all these young guys coming
Absolutely. Now, whether those young guys are all ready to bring it together again, it remains to be seen. But
one way to find out.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Franzen. Fly ball, shallow right, and Marlon Byrd puts it away for the 2nd out. Next time you're looking to pick up great seats to a game, head to StubHub, where you can earn 2% back in fan rewards on every purchase, including Phillies tickets. StubHub, your ticket to upgrades. Well, Matt, it is true. The kids have more than we had when we were kids, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Those are some cool headphones, those Phillies headphones. All right, here's Denard Span. A single, double, and home run for the Nationals. Triple away from the cycle. I know Brad Wilkerson had a cycle. I know Christian Guzman hit for the cycle for the Nationals. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Span fights it off. It's 0-2. Have you ever had a cycle?
1991. I bunted for my last.
For your triple?
Yeah, really. I know it's hard to believe. I got a triple. I bunted down the third base line, hit the bag for a stand-up single.
That's so fun. Where were you at that point? Single A?
Oh, Harrisburg.
Harrisburg, double A. Okay. Span calls time. It's no balls and 2 strikes. And a called strike 3. Now that's a crisp outing from Antonio Bastardo. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park. Dan Iasonia has had a high strike zone tonight, and Bastardo went right after it. And we'll go to the bottom of the 7th after a stop at the Majestic Clubhouse store. A long day of celebrating. They were honored before the start of today's ball game, and the ceremony was just unbelievable here at the ballpark. And there was a number of Taney parents who had signs saying thanks for the support, and a number of fans who said thanks to the Taney Dragons for the run that they put together, how enjoyable it was. Ryan Howard leads it off. Howard gave a speech tonight. Part of that was because he went up to visit the kids up at Williamsport. He went up to visit all the Little Leaguers, but most notably as he shoots that one to the left side for a base hit, his second hit of the night. Most notably, he stopped to talk to the kids from Taney, played some ping pong with them at the rec center. As competitive as he is, wasn't happy that he got spiked on one of the ping pong during one of the ping pong games. There's Zion Spearman and Kai getting a chance to say hello to Ryan Howard and Jimmy Rollins, Dominic Brown. Well, Ryan did a nice job with his speech today.
Yep.
So Detweiler will now face Marlon Byrd with nobody out and a runner at first. Out toward right field. That's well hit. Worth going back. This one is gone. An opposite field home run for Marlon Byrd. It's a 2-run shot, and the Phillies have just padded their lead. It's 7-4 here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Tom, just like that, on 2 pitches, you have a base hit to left field. Next pitch, Marlon Byrd drives the ball in the ballpark in right field. He's getting his foot back down early enough, give him an opportunity to get his balance there, knowing that he can drive the ball in the ballpark. He does. That's a loud sound.
There's that sound. 24 home runs now for Byrd. It's the first time he's had a home run that wasn't a solo shot in the last 11. He picks up a 2-run shot here. He's 77 RBIs. 7-4 Phillies here in the bottom of the 7th. That one's fouled off the foot of Brown. It's 0-2. Phillies need 6 more outs. And then you could say this has been a heck of a night, considering where they were at the beginning, down 2-0, then 3-2. and then 4-2 before they took the lead 5-4, and now have added to the lead. Dominic Brown has struck out, and one out here in the 7th. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank. Good banking is good citizenship. Now Will Nieves 1 for 3. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Detweiler, who for a short period of time was a fairly dominant starting pitcher. But the Nationals seem to have a plethora of starters, so he's been relegated to the bullpen as LaRoche makes that catch. Whether he gets put back into the starting rotation again in the future, I guess that remains to be seen.
And he also ran into some injury problems with his hip. He used to crossfire a lot more back in the day, a few years ago.
The ball used to blast.
Yeah, and he still throws very hard, but they're trying to get him back to the point where his direction comes straight towards home plate.
I guess by coming out of the bullpen, there's pressure on the hip, but there's not the long pressure of being a starter on that hip. At the knees, 1-1 to Cody Ashe. Ashe 0 for 3.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think he had it in college when he first came out of college.
Yeah, it definitely was an injury that predated his time with the Nationals. Back in 2012, that's the year that I remember where he won 10 games at an ERA of 3.40. Faced the Phillies a bunch of times that year and basically relied on the fastball. Well, he gets Ashe, and that'll wrap up the 7th inning for the Phillies, but not before Marlon Byrd ties his career high in home runs with an opposite field shot. His 24th home run of the year. Let's give the Phillies a 3-run lead as we go to the top of the 8th inning here in Philadelphia. local Delaware Valley Honda dealer, shophonda.com. By the Pennsylvania Lottery, benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And by Chevrolet, visit your local dealer at chevydealer.com. We go to the top of the 8th inning. The Phillies are up 7-4. Who would have thought that early on, the way things have been going? Time now for a Hyundai defensive play of the game, Matt.
Phillies came back way back into the first inning. Martin Burr hits a line drive, and Rendon makes a nice timing and jumping catch right there. Saves some extra base hits and an RBI early in the game, and that is your defensive play of the game, brought to you by Hyundai.
All right, so now it's set up a little differently for the Phils. They'll go to Diekman to pitch the 8th inning. I don't know if Papelbon's available tonight. He's worked a lot lately. They were going to wait and see how he was after he threw. I think he'll tell you that he's always ready. Ever since that weekend in New York when he wasn't ready, ever since then he's seems to have taken the baseball each time he's been asked. But if Papelbon is not available tonight, then the guy sitting next to him taking a swig of water, Kenny Giles, will close. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rendon. Two balls and 1 strike. I wonder if that's what Ryan Sandberg led us to believe yesterday. That is, if Papelbon isn't available at all the rest of the year, it'll be Diekman or Giles. And since Diekman's in here, we could assume that if Papelbon's not available, it'll be Giles in the 9th inning.
He did, and he was kind of hesitant to put it on one guy. He said that he liked the idea of being able to pinpoint a couple of different guys in that situation. But I would agree with you, Tom, that if Papelbon is not available tonight, I wouldn't imagine that Diekman's going to go 2 innings, so I think we'll see Giles at that point.
Yeah, I was wondering, we usually see Papelbon when he's ready to pitch sort of stretching out, getting himself loose at this point. So we'll see. Phillies have to get to that point, though. They're up 7-4 here in the top of the 8th. Rendon is 1 for 3. Back toward the middle. Nice play by Diekman. Ball was scorched. What away.
Well, we show why pitchers are true athletes. That's why they work on the PFP right there. Came in at 98, probably came back at about 100 and made a nice play. And yes, Tom, I said pitchers are true athletes.
Very nice of you to throw those accolades out like that.
I would never say it when Jamie's up in the booth, but
he may be DVRing it back home, so he's going to, if he can ever figure out how to make a copy of it and bring it back to you, he'll have it forever.
He's still working on the 8-tracks.
1 ball and no strikes to Worth. Outside, 2-0.
You think Nieves has fun catching?
I think he has a blast back there.
He does.
And he's got, you can see there's a body language to him. You know, there's the constant movement, the constant energy. It's been an excellent backup this year. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Worth. Got him. A high fastball at 98. Time now for our AT&T fan photo of the game. We promised this earlier. This one comes from Jesse Allegro. Opening day on the field at Citizens Bank Park. A crisp, cool, beautiful day. Tweet your photo to hashtag #PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Well, now with 2 outs, here is Adam LaRoche. 0 for 3. Outside, 2-0. Well, he fell behind 3 balls and no strikes to Jason Worth and came back to strike him out. Desmond's on deck. And now the 3-0 pitch.
.61 2/3 inning pitched. 89 strikeouts.
I think part of it, I mean, everybody around the National League knows who he is and what he's doing. The fact that up until about a week ago his ERA had been sitting over 4 and just hadn't gotten under 4, I think that's why he's probably flying under the radar a little bit more around the game. Plus the fact the Phillies have been in last place. But he and Giles are truly a storyline going into 2015.
And beyond.
Because as long as they stay healthy, you'd be hard pressed to find setup guys, righty lefty combination that both can hit 100 for a team. So his 89 strikeouts lead relief pitchers. You can throw all the young guys in there too. I mean, it's definitely going to be an advantage for the Phillies in 2015. 3 balls, 2 strikes to LaRoche. And he gets a piece of it, fouls it back. Over to second base. Chase Utley comes in. And Jake Diekman has a 1-2-3 8th inning. 6 up, 6 down, recorded by the Phillies bullpen. Bottom of the 8th inning. Come to the ballpark, see a celebration, see a couple homers, and maybe get yourself a baseball. season ticket sweepstakes. You don't want to miss out on your chance to win a pair of lower-level regular season tickets. It's so easy to enter. Just answer this week's poll question. Which opponent are you most eager to face? Then fill out the entry form at PhiladelphiaEagles.com/CSN Philly. Entry deadline is September 2nd. Darren Ruff to pinch hit. First pitch down the right field line. This is not an easy play. That's a fair ball. And it drops for a base hit. I'm not sure what was going on there.
Well, I tell you what was going on when Darren hit the ball. He had no idea where the ball went.
Did he look left?
He had no idea where it went.
Which is why he's at first base right now.
Head down, realizes that he put in play.
Because there's every chance he should have been at second base on that. Maybe not.
Maybe.
I gave him a little too much speed there.
A little bit. A little bit.
Well, he's fortunate too. That ball was up there for a long time. It's surprising that nobody was able to catch it for the Nationals. So Rupp's at first, a pinch hit single. Revere shows bunt, takes low. Hit by a pitch his last time up. He's got that arm wrapped now. Little compression sleeve.
You know, I'll go back and I'll agree with you. Yes, he probably would have been on second base.
I mean, I know he's not the fastest guy, but if he realized where it was, I think he would have been at second. Revere bunts again, foul. It's 1-1. Ball got a piece of the home plate umpire, Dan Iasonia. Surprised Jason Worth didn't get over to catch that ball in right field. It was a long run. Definitely wasn't Roach's ball. Been hit by the pitches last time up, so fans thought that was a little too close for comfort. And he slaps it to left, a base hit. So runners on first and second. Jimmy Rollins will get a chance to bat. Rollins has been on base 4 times. Homered his first time up, walked twice. Now it's 60 walks on the year and singled in the 5th. Kenny Giles in the bullpen. And Rollins bunts it. It's a beauty. Sacrifice is successful. Trying to get that extra run home. 1-3 on the putout. And now Utley will bat.
Like what I've seen this whole 3 games since I've been back. They're doing whatever it takes to try to manufacture runs, which is outstanding, especially when you're playing against teams that are playing for playoff contention.
And now they're going to walk Utley. Yeah, they've just played crisper baseball.
Right. And the St. Louis series, the Seattle series, Washington Nationals series.
Two balls and no strikes. So Howard will get a chance with the bases loaded. Ryan's had some good swings tonight. I think this is good for the Phils at this point, even though Utley has swung the bat well too. Friday, September 12th, the Phillies will take on the Miami Marlins. It's the start of a 3-game series, and all fans 15 and older will receive the Cabrini College knit hat. For tickets, go to Phillies.com. You can check out Phillies.com to check out the remaining home games on the schedule here in 2014. Lots of good games still left to be played here in Philadelphia. Rupp's over at third, Revere at second, and Utley at first. Oh, and 1. That looked like it slipped out of Ryan's hand. 13 slams, 1 this year. Ball club's all-time leader in grand slams. And a line drive past Desmond into center field. Rupp will score. Bases remain loaded. It's an 8-4 ball game. 3 hits tonight for Ryan Howard. 81 RBIs. All started with Darren Ruff's pinch single. And Matt Williams heading out to the mound.
Supposed to be a fastball inside and back over towards the middle of the plate. Like you said, he's had good swings all night because he's staying through the ball and he's driving the ball, letting the ball get deep.
So Detweiler is done. The Phillies still have them loaded. They have a 4-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning and a pitching change. Talk about with tonight's ball game. The Phillies at one point were down 2-0, then 4-2. They've come from behind. They lead it 8-4. They've got the bases loaded. It's Phillies Postgame Live presented by Cure Auto Insurance. It's coming up right after the ball game. Well, this has been a solid inning for the Phillies on so many levels. You got the 2 lefties getting 2 hits. Darren Ruff begins the inning with a pinch hit single. And now Detweiler's out. Craig Stammen's in, and Marlon Byrd is coming up. Byrd has already hit a 2-run home run. Phillies have Giles and DeFreitas now throwing in the pen. You got Revere at third, Utley at second, Ryan Howard at first. Swing and a miss, 0-1. That'll slice out of play, and it's 0-2 to Marlon Byrd. Marlon trying to extend this lead. The Phillies are up by 4. How about 5 unanswered runs for the Phillies? Or 6 unanswered runs, I should say, counting the 1 in this inning. Marlin tied up. He's down on strikes, 2 away. And Dominic Brown will get a chance with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Dominic had an RBI double in the 6th inning. That made it 4-3 at the time. And the Phillies got 2 more runs on Grady Sizemore's 2-run pinch hit home run. Outside, 1-0.
Bases loaded, 2 out, 2 balls, no strikes. Tom, let it fly right here.
Let it fly.
As hard as you can. All right.
Same thought here, 2-1. Think he'd come back with another slider, 2-1?
Could.
Ground ball right side. And Cabrera has it. And goes to second to get Howard. The Phillies get a very important insurance run here in the 8th inning. Even though they leave it loaded. We'll go to the 9th. Ryan Howard's RBI has made it an 8-4 ball game. Here at Citizens Bank Park, where you can take a look at a game-used baseball, an autographed baseball, and maybe make a bid on it. One of the great stands here in Philadelphia. All around the ballpark there are different stands, whether it be food stands or merchandise opportunities. On a beautiful night for baseball. It began with the great ceremonies honoring the Taney Little League, and now the Phillies are 3 outs away from completing a sweep of the Washington Nationals. 32nd game for Giles. It's not a safe situation. 3-1 with a 1.38 ERA. And he's on to face Ian Desmond, Bryce Harper, and Wilson Ramos. The Bastardo and Diekman combined to retire all 6 batters they faced. Last night, an explosive 1 inning for Giles. 3 strikeouts, 12 pitches. And his adrenaline was moving pretty good, too. So the first batter is Desmond. First pitch is on the outside corner at 99. Just free and easy. The fans just reacted when they saw 99. They want 100.
So do I, Tom.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Slider, 0-2. There you go, Matt.
Thank you.
He was out of the strike zone, but they still love it. Why not? That is a fair ball. Fielding Colbreth, the first base umpire, was stumbling as he made the call. Dan Iasonia, the home plate umpire, is walking up the line. Now he just stops. This is not reviewable, so whatever the umpire decides is the right call. It bounced before the bag. So it's whether the ball went over the bag or not, according to Colbreth, who was moving out of the way, but it looked like he was prepared to call it fair even before it came at him. So now Iasonia is going to chat with Colbreth. All right, so Dan Iasonia is going to go over to talk to Sandberg. Colbert's going to come out as well. It's not reviewable. Nothing before the outfield grass is reviewable under the replay guidelines. The ball bounced before the bag, so it's up to the umpires, and they've decided that that's a fair ball. So Desmond's aboard. It's a base hit.
By the way,
yeah,
101.
Is that what that last pitch was? I didn't see it. Well, he was late on it. Howard will play behind Desmond. Desmond will take off from first at some point, you would think. There he goes. 0-1. It was a light 98 from Giles.
Must have been a two-seamer. Or a changeup.
The changeup. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire, the opposition 1-2-3. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. The bullpen has done that twice tonight. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. No balls, 1 strike to Harper. Outside, 1-1. Back with a slider. 2-2. I think hitters have commented that Giles' slider is way better than they anticipated. Everybody's always heard about his fastball, at least over the last 6 months or so. Down the left field line, Dominic Brown will give this a peek. It'll slice out of play, and it's 2-2. Well, that slider is a big league slider right there. That's a second out pitch for Giles.
Well, and I like the count was 2 balls, 1 strike. He's missed up and away twice with heaters. Davis calls for a slider, making you get out front of that ball, get on top of it, and have that little snap.
He spoils a 2-2 slider. The A's will walk the baseball back out to Giles. Off day tomorrow, and the Phillies head to New York tomorrow night. Take on the Mets on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 2 night games, and then the day game on Sunday, then a day game on Monday in Atlanta, celebrating Labor Day. Out to right field, playable for Marlon Byrd. It's not that deep. Desmond won't tag. 1 out. All right, the Mets series pitching matchups look like this. David Buchanan is scheduled to start game 1, Jerome Williams 2, and A.J. Burnett game 3. And they'll face DeGrom, Bartolo Colon, and Dylan G. Phillies will try to solve Bartolo Colon. He's had some success against them this year. We'll be on the air on Friday night at 7 o'clock. Phillies pregame live. 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. The game on NBC 10. Swing and a miss by Ramos, 0-1. Good job by Nieves. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Both Nieves and Chooch do a very good job of blocking balls in the dirt, that's for sure.
Phillies trying to sweep the Nationals for the first time in 2 years. 2-1. Not a whole lot you can do as a catcher with that boy. You have to rely on your first instinct when it's on you that quickly.
Did Nieves catch that?
He did. On 1 hop.
At 99.
1 hop. Through the hole on the left side. That'll be a base hit. Desmond will stop at third. So 2 singles in the inning for the Nationals. They have runners on first and third with 1 out. And Asdrubal Cabrera is coming up. Well, this is Giles' inning. Papelbon doesn't seem to be available tonight. So he'll go after Asdrubal Cabrera. Double play is in order.
Game's kind of hit like a pause button a little bit right here.
It's so hard not to have defensive swings, I would think, against him, particularly when he has both pitches working.
Well, you want to gear up so much for that fastball. You know it's 97, 98, 101, whatever it is. Then all of a sudden he puts that little wrinkle in it with the curveball, or the slider, sorry, and you've already committed with your fastball. And now he hasn't had a great command of his slider tonight until that pitch there.
That's a good slider right there. Yep, 1-2. Is lined out, he's grounded out, and he's flied out. And the 1-2 pitch coming. Got him. First strikeout of the inning for Giles. 2 away. And Nate Scherholtz will be the pinch hitter.
Came back here with the swing and miss slider. Seemed like the pitch before that had a little bigger hump in it to get for a strike, and that one there was the slider down and in for the swing and miss slider.
Well, Scherholtz, who began the year with the Cubs, spent all of last year with Chicago, part of the season before with the Phils. First pitch to him in this at bat, tries to hold up. He went around. 0-1. Back toward the middle. Rollins slides to his knees, flips from his backside, and the Phillies have swept out the Washington Nationals. They win it tonight 8-4. They've won 4 consecutive games. Well, this was a tremendous homestand. The Phillies won 7 of the 9 games on this homestand. Played some really good baseball, too. Kenny Giles was able to get the 3 outs he needed to preserve this 8-4 win. Took a few extra pitches. Jimmy Rollins, that play kind of capped off what was a pretty nice night for the Phillies shortstop. A home run, couple walks, sac bunt. And this wasn't an easy play back behind second base.
No, that's the one where you say chuck and duck. You see Jimmy makes a nice play, gives a perfect feed. Chase Utley on the bag for the last out of the game.
Right,
no panic, he just nice little flip. Nice game.
Well, Jimmy Rollins always seems to play like a little leaguer with that kind of energy. And tonight the Phillies honored the little leaguers from Taney. And then they went on and won it 8-4. Big swing tonight was Grady Sizemore off the bench. Matt.
Got his first major league pinch hit home run on an 0-2 curveball, which was really the game changer, getting the lead and the energy, and the bullpen took over from there. Now we go down to the field with Murph and Sizemore.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Yep, here with Grady Sizemore, and they were just showing your home run. It was a big swing tonight. Sometimes you only get one swing. Take us through that at bat, because I know you got down 0-2, and then you were able to connect.
Yeah, he threw some off-speed pitches early, and after that, I was just trying to battle, trying to get a pitch to hit, and just got a ball up in the zone and was able to do something with it.
I know you're a guy obviously wants to be on the field at all times, but sometimes you only do get one opportunity. What's your routine to stay sharp when you get a chance to get one swing?
I just try to stay loose. I think for me it takes a little bit of time, so I just try to do what I can down beneath to stay low and get some swings in when I can and just be ready when they're ready for me. This has been a good homestand for you guys, 7-2 on the homestand. It's been difficult this year to find some wins at home. What are you seeing right now out of this ball club that's allowing them to play such good baseball? Just playing with some energy, having fun. I think it's easy to have fun when you're winning, so hopefully we can build off of this and keep going and finish strong. All right, Grady, big swing tonight. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. Thanks to Grady Sizemore for joining us here this evening. Yep, he gets one swing tonight, and he made it count. He gave the Phillies the lead for good, and they went on to an 8-4 victory over the Nationals to complete the 3-game sweep and a 4-game winning streak.